Good evening and welcome to another scene in the living world of darkness. And we are in the Camarilla and Anarch venue, and we are starting this tonight's scene as we see Mr. Spillane being driven in a car to a bar. And Spillane has had a couple of, well, he's been having quite a few troubled nights now in a row. And, oh, hits do not seem to stop coming. You are making your way towards this bar where you hope that you will meet another member of the city kindred who is, well, to be honest, not a lot of people have talked to these two, but that's mainly because the two of them have been somewhat rough around the edges socially whenever they've shown up. So they haven't really, showed themselves to be the best social butterflies ever. But yeah, you've gotten a message of a place to meet, and you are approaching the place. You can see the place.
Yes. As Sam's driver pulls up, there are several. It's because it's more like Sam at this point is so paranoid that he's basically traveling around with a fucking convoy wherever he goes. It's quite a sight. It really is quite military, almost Secret Service. One wonders how the how the Irish mafia of all things could be so professional. It's so militant. They often cast off as just simple thugs, acts crazy, but they really have been somewhat transformed by both Sam and recent events. And the convoy split off in two separate directions outside of the building, just in case that emergency exit is required. The men would step out of the car, but they will be keeping watch as Sam gets out of the building and heads into the bar.
You see a guy who's he's a gang member. He looks as though he's a gang member, but then again, he's not. He seems like a fairly dedicated lookout. You can see that, and he's just he just takes a look at you and just like does a very slight nod to you, and for the casual looker, you would say like he was out for a smoke or conversation on a phone, but he actually just goes in the bar and holds the door for you.
So we'll simply nod and say, "Good evening."
Good evening. He's waiting. Just go on through and to the back room. Just say you're here to meet Chad.
Many thanks. And he will head on over to the back room.
There aren't. I mean, there's this place is. It's not a dive bar, but it's. I mean, there are some gang members. There are some normal people. There aren't too many people. I mean, you can do me a perception alertness for one.
Yeah, sure.
Just for the sake.
Oh, 4 successes.
You're quite sure that at least half of the people in this bar are planning to or are already drunk to the point where they're probably not going to remember you. It's quite clear that if anyone was planning any, well, in here anyway, any sort of ambush, they spectacularly failed because
They're all drunk.
most of them are either planning to get drunk or it's actually like it's 3/4. It's most people in here, And then there are some
Yeah.
people who are just looking at their drunk friends and being somewhat annoyed or tired. It looks like a normal bar, essentially.
Reminds Sam of his own family. A flagrant racist aside. Sam, Sam heads on over to where he's supposed to meet Chad.
Again, you can see a couple of guys standing there, and they just nod. One, I mean, they're big guys. They probably hit the gym or something. It looks that way. But yeah, one of them opens the door for you, and yeah, it's the back room of a bar. There isn't too much there, but you'll just hear as the door opens and he lets you in. He'll just say, "Chad, your visitor's here." And you hear it looks like a back office, and there's really no one in here that you can see. Not at the moment. You come into this room. There's a desk. There's some this looks like the office of a very a person in his early 20s who uh, made his office like he wanted it to. There is a PlayStation turned to a TV. There is a dart board on the wall. There is beer cans. It's yeah, and it doesn't smell too good in here, but it looks like the workplace of more than one person.
Sam will. Is there a place where Sam can sit opposite
Oh,
Chad?
there's a sofa and there's a chat, but you'll hear from a door on the side. Hi, Sheriff. 1 second. And Chad enters. You can see that he's not limping, but as he's walking, he just at one point just grabs his side and just grumbles a little and just sits down and just says, or he actually doesn't sit down, just comes over to you and just says, yeah, good evening, Sheriff. It's
Running
good to
a
see
tight
you.
ship. Likewise, running a tight ship here. Glad to see it, considering our current situation. I have a seat. You look like you could use it more than me right now.
He puts out a hand.
You'll shake it.
Well, I don't know you, but he takes off his hoodie. You can see that he lifts up in his t-shirt underneath, and someone with claws have removed a good chunk on this side. You recognize, you've seen Emily do some stuff with claws, and this is not too dissimilar to that. Yeah, some fucking asshole with well, I got him back. So no problem. Chad is running interference at the moment. But yeah, this will take a couple of days to close. But he sits down. Thank you for coming. I know you're busy. Well, me and Chad, we got hit hard, but we're still here. And I heard about Ghost. That really sucks.
Yeah. I heard, for reference, Chad and Thad generally resided either, was it the refugee camp or Harlem?
Harlem.
Yeah, heard about that. No, total loss.
We'll get it back. Do you know why?
Areas, which is good.
Do you know why we're going to get it back?
Pardon?
Because fuck them, that's why.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I heard Ghost was tough. I heard that this was a place of opportunities. Now it seems to be quite true. And hearing some of the stuff that she did before going down, well, I guess the rumors are true. But they're not getting rid of us. Not so easily. So
I was pleasantly surprised when I heard you lived through it. Turns out you're tough bastards to take down.
yeah, well, most of them are fucking shit for brains, but that helps. So, what's the status? I mean, I'll have a night or two, and then I'm all fixed up. But do you have anything you need?
Well, we took back the hospital and wiped out the pack there, as well as their wassail friends. Apparently, some werewolves stepped in around Washington Heights, but the Sabbath have reinforced another building there, so we're going to have to kick them out of that area.
Fucking lupines? What do you mean they stepped in?
Took down one of the buildings they took out. One of the reasons the refugees had such a hard fucking time is because one of the coteries fucking sold them down the river.
Mm.
But they're gone, and apparently is
Just how many spies are we looking at? From what I've heard, a former hound, a former mistress of harpies, and now a fucking tired coterie.
Not even fucking knowing. We're getting new guests every day now, which ain't filling me with confidence. Our master of harpies is sorting through them. Nah, taking some measures normally I wouldn't approve of, but under these circumstances.
That fruity guy, you know, with the over the top British dude.
Aye, Theodore.
What kind of extreme measures are we talking about?
We're talking about running through their memories to make sure they are who they say they are. Ain't pretty, but we don't have much of a choice at this point, considering.
That's more than what. Go ahead.
Apparently, that's more than considering we have a dozen fucking traitors at this point. Half of which are dead, fortunately.
Well, at this point, I hardly agree with fairly extreme vetting, but maybe he's tougher than he sounds and appears. I mean, he looks like kind of gay to me, but why would you judge?
You do what you must to survive. He wouldn't be an elder of his kind if he didn't realize that. Well, that's where he's extraordinarily lucky. But I have not met such a lucky individual yet.
Well, I suppose that makes sense.
Either way,
it's good to hear that he's taking some precautions, but yeah.
Yeah. But we're making some progress. Chantry went down, but from what I can tell, Sabbath ain't getting anything useful out of that, and they took a huge chunk of their forces, from what I can tell. From what my hand was telling me, and the region made it out, so no real losses there, and a Pyrrhic victory for the enemy, so really a win for us, because they didn't get what they wanted.
That's good. And the Elysium's gone, huh?
Elysium's gone, but did tell York, that old bastard, about putting us in a fucking metal cage. Wasn't exactly smart.
Well, He didn't think that anyone would rad, and I suppose that's a bigger problem.
I could have imagined Sam being that petty, but don't know what the fuck happened to Emily.
The former hound, I don't know, fucking crazy traitor bitch. I don't care. She dies with the rest of them.
I came to talk to you about that, actually. I suppose you've heard at this point about the new kingpin among the Italians.
Now I've heard some rumblings.
I need to know exactly just how well connected you are and just how strong you are among the circles you walk in, because I don't just want to be throwing you into the fire for no fucking reason.
The two of us have a certain pull somewhere. But truth be told, our operations were in we were in the expanding stage when we got fucking hit with a, I don't know, 6-ton truck to the face. But, well, we still got some pull somewhere. But given the situation, I'm beginning to wonder if we're getting sidelined here.
Scion train, if I'm assuming correctly, right?
Repeat that?
Scion train, if I'm assuming correctly, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Now, I'm not sure if you've been able to judge by my accent at this point, but I run the second most powerful underworld organization in this city.
I am quite sure it wasn't that big of a secret.
The only one that we were second to were the Italians, who a good friend of mine had a lot of hold over until he too met his end. And that was before all of this.
You don't need to roll. You can see that as you're starting to talk about this, he looks a bit more skeptical. He just looks at you, but he doesn't say anything at this point.
The Italians have since been commandeered by the Sabbat and are now run by an individual known as the Leech, who, from what I can tell, reminds me too much of that Inquisitor fellow from a while back. He ain't no shovelhead. Comes from Mexico. Sabbat's stronghold. So he's probably worth his weight in gold. But it also means they now have control under the most powerful underworld organization in the city, which I intend to stop, but I can't do it by myself.
Well, you're a sheriff, and you seem to be doing all right. Somewhat more competent than I thought. I don't mean to tell you how to do your job, but we have a fucking war in the middle of the city. We, as far as I know, have a problem with the mayor since she might be involved. And from what I'm guessing is you want our help, Chad, and my help.
I think if...
So you would, with these two fairly monumental problems, start probably one of the largest gang wars in recent memory, on top of all that.
Sam smiles, seems to like the concept of absolute fucking carnage.
Well, we're stretched quite thin as it is. I don't think, well, hitting this about from every side with the amount of resources they're putting into this. I don't think that might be not be the smartest idea of all time. But that's my take. I'll speak to Chad about it. But we've got a lot of problems on it right now, and I get it. It's just another avenue for them to attack us. I'm getting it. I totally get you. Where you coming? But I don't know.
Real problem is the mayor. She can just scream for them what she wants. She's
So why don't we
always
just
been
kill
able to
the
do like
bitch?
this.
Boom, 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 shoot her.
They're probably prepared for that, and it'll generate massive sympathy for her successor. But they've also probably got under this way. Just replace one pawn with another. And we're back to square one.
Some of the fixes she's been doing with the police really is getting us fucked. And not to put too fine a point on it, but I think if we start this turf war, the police are going to be, well, breathing down our necks more than the Italians.
New
In my
kid in
mind,
town.
I think the police department and/or the mayor should be handled first, and then we could begin to go to town on the Italians.
My friends in the media are trying to put our feet to the fire we can right now, suppress her as much as possible. But we need something big to take her down with. Actually brings me to New Kid.
Well,
How's Harlem impacted you? I know they just more or less swept that area out from under your feet. Must be putting on you're under a lot of pressure right now.
it sucks. I mean, given the amount of work we put into it, but well, it was getting off the ground, so we hadn't gotten that far yet. So I guess there's a positive light in there somewhere, positive spin on it. But with the mayor, well, I think that should be our priority, and that I might actually help you with if you need some help with that.
I
It seems to be the problem to, well, the root of all of this. It just exasperates everything else. Our daily operation, any underworld activities going on is going to get clamped on when it's ours having anything to do with it and get completely ignored when it's the assholes doing it.
I I think at this point you're correct. I have a few ideas in store for the mayor. For now I'd just say keep your heads down. I have a plan to retake Harlem, so if you want in on that, I can give you a time and date.
Well, I went, of course I wanted that. Smiles. Oh, by the way, he looks at you. You're Ventry, right?
Aye.
Okay. I'm just, he looks at his phone. He's received a text message. You can see that. Just, yeah, I've invited some girls over here, and I don't know if you want to bite or something, or are you good?
That's fine. I'll be fine. You help yourself.
All right. It's just and he just points down, like it'll take like a couple of nights, but then I should be up to snuff again.
I
I need a little bit more, juice to deal with this.
speaking of which, I do run a lot of smuggling operations off the bay. If your organization requires any extra arms, we can supply with that. Might be useful for when we want to retake Ghost Soul Club back.
Well, you know what I've told one of the first things after me and Ted began running together? We had this just the old timer, he's kind of, taking care of us. It's way back, but never, ever, ever accept the first deal of entry gives you. Don't take this the wrong way, but at this point, I think we've got enough arms. But in the future, if we're doing something together, it's going to be liberating the city. We just might have something to talk about, but not at this point. And I'm a little, I'm a little superstitious. I just, it's just look. Thanks. All right, and
I get it. Whatever. If you got what you need, I don't really care. So long as so long as it ain't pride or some that shit that's getting in the way. As long as you have what you need and ain't weighing you down or anything. Ain't nothing weighing you down.
hey,
I'm
man,
cool.
if you've got some ballistic missiles, I'm ready to take that. But
Aye, yeah, that's what I mean. Guns, arms, firearms.
for the moment, we're good. But thanks.
Aye. We tend to run into some pretty interesting gear every now and then, so
He just fiddles around in one of the drawers in the desk he's sitting at, and he just takes out a new sheet of paper, and then he's just and he writes down a phone number. This is for the new burner phone after all this shit went down. Just if you need to get in contact with me, just dial this number, all right?
Aye. By the end of this world, I've gone through a fucking dozen of these things.
Yeah.
Oh. If that's that, I'll give you the time and date of when we're going to try and take back to Harlem area. And when we intend to go after some of these fucking turncoats.
I like the sound of that.
Hmm.
Anyway, he just gets up. It's been a pleasure. I just jingles his cell phone, and you can stay if you want. I mean, or have a drink outside. It's not a problem.
Aye, no problem. I have more broken windows to fix, I think. There's always more fucking shovel heads to kill.
Matt, are you in here? You hear a couple of women giggling, and it's just, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, fuck me. He's gone over to a door, and like a couple of women who wear a little bit too much makeup, and some of them are a little bit older than you would think that he would be into, given that he seems fairly young himself. But yeah, there's. I mean, he begins to tease them and stuff, but he just waves goodbye to you as he begins to escort them through a door to another room.
Sam will. He just bites his lip in both a knowing and somewhat cheeky fashion and just winks him goodbye as he will exit the building of this matter settled for the evening. Good to know he's got some friends left to take out Harlem with.
And as Spillane gets into his car and drives away, we will end our scene. Thank you very much for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.